Hello there and welcome back to ADcraft. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build this perfect little Wild West church in your Mesa or your Wild West town. And there's also a world download for this build available through my Discord. So don't go anywhere and let's get on with the video. Here are the materials for the church, including the interior, so pause the video now and check them out. The first thing we're going to do is set out the floor plan. Now with this build, it's actually raised one block above the floor, so anyway you've got a flat space, you can literally just start placing the box. And what we're going to do is the main section is going to be 9 wide by 11 long, and that's going to be a ring of cobble that is then going to have oak planks in the middle. On the back here we've got 3 by 5 that as well kind of carries on this ring that also then has the oak planks in there. Now we've got a back door entrance which is just going to be a set of cobble stairs leading onto the oak, and at the front we've got a little porch which is 2 oak planks by 3 and then a set of 3 stairs at the front. So if you want to pause the video now to get the layout correct, do so, and then we'll start building the actual church itself. The first step in this build is to fill in the majority of the walls, and what we're going to do is we're going to come right the way around the build here in this big section, including across this bit here because we're going to knock out the doors later. And this entire section here is using the white wool. We're going to come up to 5 blocks total, so we've got the whole thing as a box that'll be 5 blocks high. On this section at the back we're going to do the same, we're going to come all the way around the edge, but this time we're going to come up 4 blocks in total, so it'll be 1 block lower at this back section as it is in the main section. Fill all this in with wool and then we'll go around adding some texture. As I mentioned, we're doing this for simplicity's sake, so this is what you'll look like when you have these in place. Obviously it doesn't look very church-like at the moment, but we'll get onto that very shortly. The first thing to note is obviously it's 1 block lower at the back, so make sure that you have only got 4 blocks here. And what we're going to do now is actually using a block that most people don't use is the birch logs, and we're going to bring these in and start placing them randomly around the build. And this doesn't matter where they go too much, just space them out however you like, and it doesn't matter again if we knock them out in a short while when we're going to be adding the windows and the doorways, because yeah, just get a random mixture is the key thing here. So yeah, go around the whole build. I'll show you what that looks like once you've just added some texture. They really can be anywhere, use as many or as few as you wish. With some texture added to the build, what we're going to do is we're going to knock out the doors and then the windows. So the first thing to do is come to the front and the centre of the build, and we're going to also need some quartz stairs here, so we're going to knock out 3 and place a quartz stair at the front. We're then going to come into the centre of the build and move across to the left or to the right, either way, but for this to the right by 1 block and knock out 3, so we've got a quartz stair here, and then at the back here just by this stair we're going to knock out, and then we're going to put a quartz stair on top. For the other windows in this section, we're going to knock out 3 blocks here and place a quartz stair at the top here, and then we're going to knock out 3 opposite the door and do a quartz stair as well. Now I'm going to show you where to do the windows in the sides. So we're going to knock out 3, so that's 2 blocks in, knock out 3, 2 blocks across, knock out 3, and then 2 further blocks and knock out 3 like so. In the top of each of these we're going to place again the quartz stair. Now if you do find that you've got any of these where you've got the birch logs in place, what you can do is you can switch those out with some of the wood, and then you get a nicer top to it so it won't be visible. I won't show you the other side, but it's just exactly the same. And then when you get to the front here, on either side, just inside the walls, we've got the 3 blocks up with a quartz stair. So again, there's 2 blocks between that and the doorway, and then 2 blocks between that and the doorway again. And the last one is here. So fill in all of those windows and get that ready, and then we will start building the next level. Now we're going to finish building up the A-frame. So at the back we're just going to come across for these 3 blocks, and then we're going to come up to a point. And again, whilst you're going, just add in some texturing using some of the birch. We're going to do a similar thing here where we're just going to literally come right the way across the build and bring it up to a point. So moving in 1 block each time, and then we'll do exactly the same on the front. But again, just make sure that you mix in the birch blocks every so often just to texture it up. At the front of the build, with these A-frames put in place, we're going to come across and we're going to come 2 blocks up, and on the 3rd block we're going to knock it out and the block each side. Then we're going to place an upside down quartz stair to create a little window in this area. Then we are going to come here, level with this top block, and we're going to place a temporary block here, and then we're going to come out 3 blocks. We can get rid of the temporary block now, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Now this is going to give us the basis for building up the little bell tower, which we're going to do by filling in a ring of blocks just right the way around like this. So we've got a 2 high tower that's going to sit on the top here. Now again, as you did before, just make sure that you add in some texture by adding in some blocks here and there into this particular build. You don't need too many, but now we're going to build up the roof to meet up with this and finish off the interior. To add the roof into the build, what we're going to do is we're going to come down level with this edge here, and we're going to place a line of the spruce stairs going out either side, and it's going to be extending 1 block past. And then on the underside of this, we're going to place an upside down stair, and we're going to do the same at the back, like so. And now we're simply going to be building up all the way to the top here. Now on the top, what we're going to do is we are going to have a slab, so it's going to be building up the 2 sides like this, and then on the 2 edges either side we're just going to be placing in the stairs like so. Once we get to the top here, we're going to have 1 upside down stair in this apex here, and we're just going to fill this in on the underside, just on the outside with the stairs like so, so you get a nice thick roof. So we'll do that on both sides, and we'll also fill in the entirety of the roof just going up. Is a bit fiddly, roofing always is with the stairs, so coming across like this and making sure that you've got the blocks in the right place. So fill in all of the roof. Once you get up here level with this, it will just simply meet up with the bottom of the roof. On this you keep going 1 extra block like this, and yeah, we'll just fill in the front, and I'll show you what that all looks like when we've done the main section of the roof. With the main roof in place, we're going to do an almost identical thing with the roofing here. However, we're just going to come out like so underneath and just bring this up level with the top here. Again, once we get to the top, exactly the same idea. We're going to come out with the slabs along the top and then an upside down stair in there like this. So we'll fill in this section as well. Now it doesn't matter that you go over the window arch, because you still get to see the detail when you're in underneath the roof, but you fill this in and then we will do the church tower. With the roof complete like this, it's starting to look a lot more like a church. And what we're then going to do is create the bell tower. So come up to the roof and we surround this with some of the birch fences, and we're going to come up in each of the corners by 1 extra block. That gives you the height of the tower itself. Then we're going to use some stairs, and again, a little bit fiddly this. We're going to weave some stairs right the way around the corner like this, and when you fill this last one in, you should get this nice pattern around the edge. Then we're going to place 1 block of spruce in the middle, spruce planks, and then 1 block on top of that. And on top of that, we've got 1, 2 of the spruce fences. Now inside, we're going to hang a bell as well, so that's just going to sit in the middle. The next stage you can have on, it's up to you, or you can leave off, which is going to be we're going to put a big cross on the front, a crucifix. So what we're going to do and how we're going to do this is we're going to replace that first block with a stair that's facing out, and then we're going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4 with the we're going to come down 1 and up 3 like this. Then we're going to place 2 of the fence gates like so either side, and what that gives you is a nice looking big cross that really reinforces the fact that this is a church for you. On the inside, we're going to also add some crosses here. So coming just 1 block above the door, we're going to place a trapdoor, and these are dark oak trapdoors, and then we're actually going to shift click 4 above that. So we've got a nice line of 4 of these, and we're going to place 1 either side, and we're going to close all of those. So you've got a nice big cross there. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side here, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 6 in total at each end. and you've got the 2 big crosses. Then we're going to take some chains, and coming in 1 block from the edge and not in the center here, we're going to place a chain every other block. So place 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So you've got 4 on each side. Now each of these is going to come down 3, and then you're going to have a lantern at the bottom. So put all of those lanterns in place. Now that it's lit, we're going to add some eaves to this build. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some jungle planks, some jungle slabs rather, and bring the line of those jungle slabs right the way across from one side of to the other, covering this up. And then everywhere that we have this gap in between these chains rather, we are going to be getting rid of the block. So maneuvering around the chains in between each of the blocks, you'll know you've done it right if you can see the bell that we put in the bell tower here. So fill all of those in, and then you can get rid of those. And then we're going to be putting some eaves in. I'll show you this on one side, and you just do this for each of them. We're going to be placing a jungle stair, and then we're going to be placing a slab just here. So you've got this floating section, and we do the same down the other side. And just fill this in for the upside down jungle stairs right the way across. And then at the bottom of each of those, we just finish it off with a jungle trapdoor. So you've got these that are going to be the beams that are going across in between each of these sets of lights. With the eaves in place, it gives a lovely shape. And now what we're going to do is just finish off the detailing on the inside of this roof. And we're going to come up to the first set of stairs that we've got, and we're going to be filling these in with some jungle planks, so it looks like the beams do run right the way across like this. So I'll do that all the way across, and this I will just show you once. Then we are going to add in a birch trapdoor. Try and place it so you've got the clasp at the top, so it looks best. And then in between these jungle trapdoors, we're going to be placing some jungle signs. So do that right the way across the interior on both sides. Once you've done both the sides, it'll look like this, and I think you'll agree it looks pretty good on the inside with the different levels of depth. We're then simply going to come into this section here, and we're going to place some jungle stairs on the undersides of these blocks, and then we are going to place some jungle slabs in between here, like so. And that allows us then to have a single chain and just a lantern running down here, which gives enough light for this little area. To finish off this back room, we're going to place a cauldron here just underneath this window. We're going to place a crafting table next to that. Shift clicking on top of that, we're going to place a brewing stand, and then we're going to place a couple of dark oak trapdoors up here. And then last thing to do in there is fill in with a water bucket. In the main section of the church, firstly we're going to create a parapet for giving the sermon. So coming level with this door, we're going to place a stair facing into the build. Next we're going to place one here, and then we're going to place one here, and those will curve right the way round. In the middle we're going to place a slab there so you can get up onto the parapet, and we're going to place a lectern on top. Now in front of this we've got 2 just dark oak signs that we're going to place like so. And now we're going to work on the church organ. And the way we're going to do this, firstly, is we're going to place 2 stairs like this. Jumping up on the stairs, we're going to place 2 dark oak trapdoors on the sides like this, so they stand up. Then in front of that, we're going to place 2 quartz slabs and jump up on the quartz slabs so we can get to place the top of the organ and the piano. Then on this side, we're going to shift click and place 2 here and 1 here. And then here we're going to place 1, you might need to jump to place this, and then do the same again, and then shift click to place that. So you've got the 2 sides of the piano. The final things for the piano are then to put in some rails to give the keys, and similar to the lectern and the pulpit area, you've got 2 dark oak signs here. Now what we are going to also have is the corridor in between the pews is going to actually line up with this doorway, and what that means is we're going to skip this block because it's got some signs on there. We're going to take some dark oak stairs, and we're going to place 2 dark oak stairs, leave 2 gap, and then we're going to place 3 dark oak stairs on this side. We're going to do the same again, leaving again a gap in between, 2, a gap of 2, and then 3, and the last line of these pews we're going to bring these right the way through like this. So we've got this this aisle that runs down the middle and leads us through to this doorway. Now with each of these we're going to place a dark oak sign on the side, and then we're going to create these little buckets that you'd have like a Bible or a hymn book in behind, and that is going to go on both sides, so fill all of those in. With all of the pews in place, we are now going to put the glass in the windows, so using some brown stained glass, just come around and fill in all of the windows. For these doorways, then we're going to be using the dark oak doors, so place it so it's on the inside and it opens into that gap. And this one we're going to place at the back so it opens into the church itself, so it sits in this little alcove. Same here, we're going to place the door outwards so it opens in this gap here. Now next, and do make sure you do fill in all of the glass in the windows, I won't do it here, but the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves the little porchway, which is going to go up 2 blocks like so, with a jungle fence gate, so these are jungle fences, so it's going to be 2 blocks here and then a third fence here on top. Then we're going to be using the spruce stairs again, and we're going to place a spruce stair on here and on here, another one on this side and on this side like so. We're going to place one upside down stair in between, and then we are going to place one here and then 2 on top, and that gives us the little entrance to the church itself. Either side of that, just hang a lantern just to give some light to the doorway. Now either side of this door as well, we're going to have a little touch of adding a little another little seating area, so bring in your dark oak stairs again, and either side just to add an arm to the stairs so people can, after the sermon, sit down in front of the church on these seats. The last thing that we're going to do in a second, after I filled in all of this glass and showed you, is to do the little churchyard stroke graveyard area, because what Wild West Church would be complete without somewhere to bury the cowboys, basically. So this church is very, very nearly done. The last step is simply to add in, as I mentioned before, a graveyard, and this can be as big or as small as you want, depending on the size of your build. It could just extend a little bit around the front, or this one's going to be quite big. And the first thing that you want to do is start the fences, and this is going to be using a combination of oak and birch fences, and this is going to connect to the side of the church, but it's going to do it in kind of a windy little way, so however you want to do these, mixing in, like I said, the oak and the occasional birch fence, just to bring this around so it does connect to the side of the church. And once you've done that, you'll have something that looks a bit like this on one side. Do the same on the other side as well, and that gives you the enclosure for the churchyard itself. Now you've got your enclosure, the only thing to do is to add a pathway to this, and also to add some graves, and this will obviously depend on how big the area is that you've done. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the ground with some grass first of all, and the reason that we're going to use this grass is so that we can, and again don't make it too uniform, so that we can use a shovel to create some path blocks. So we'll fill this in. And for me, the path blocks are the thing that really makes this look like it is part of the Mesa here. So as you can see, we've got this little path that goes in here. Now the other thing to do is wherever you want to put a grave, then you'll need a space, and what you want to do is put in a headstone. So this will be a wall, and I would suggest that you can use a normal cobblestone wall, a stone brick wall, or an andesite wall. Those are the three, and then you can mix them up. You can have some that are doubles, for example. Just put them wherever you want them, basically. And then the next thing to do is we're going to replace the 2 blocks in front of it with a grass block again. And what you might want to do is replace the block underneath here as well. And actually you probably want to do that with some dirt's better than the grass there. And what we're then going to do is the last step is to turn each of these into some path blocks as well. So that looks like then that it's been sunken, and the ground's been disturbed when they've put the graves in place. So yeah, just go around and fill those in wherever you want. The good thing about these is as well, if you want, you can add some names on using some signs to add some comedy names, or just some names of server mates or friends or whoever, really. So I will go and finish this off and show you the final build. So now, having a quick look at the church, now that it's finished and the graveyard has been done, with the default textures on. As you can see, it works really, really well. The texture pack I use is Vanilla BD Craft, which is just basically a high definition version of the default textures anyway. So yeah, it always does. My builds always do work well with the default. But now I'm going to give you a quick look inside with the shaders on. With Seuss Renewed shaders on and the texture pack back on, here we have the finished church, and I think you'll agree it would be the perfect addition to any Wild West town. I did build this first of all on the SMP that I play, which is the AlphaCraft SMP, and yeah, really love the design, so I thought I'd do a tutorial for it. And as we come through here and check out the surrounding area, it looks really good, and it is also authentic. So yeah, really happy with how this is gone. Do check out the series. I've built an entire Wild West town called Deadwood there, and I am building some of the builds for tutorials, so if there's anything that you'd like to see, let me know. So check that out. I will pop a link to the latest episode down in the description. But with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do let me know in the comments. That would be fantastic. If you have enjoyed it, do leave a like as well, because that really does help the channel more than you can imagine. And above all, make sure that you do subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos or tutorials. If there is anything you'd like to see me build in the future, then please do, yeah, as I say, let me know, and I'd be happy to look into that for you. But with all of that being said, all that's left to be said is thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time on ADcraft.